In our previous video we created this picture in the left corner here. The next step is to create the next picture. So for that I go into my script, and inside this method we see the instance, what we instantiate, the sprite, the size of the instance and the position. So I copy this place here and insert it here below. Now if I save the script, go into Unity and start the game, I see only one picture. But if I look into my game panel, we see I have here two card prefabs. We see only one picture because every picture has the same position. So to change that, I go into my script, and here in my line where I set the position of the second instance, I can say that I use another position, and for that I create a variable. I call this picture size, and the picture size is the width divided by 10 from our panel. I can also use the height, but the height and the width in our display is the same, so I can use both. And I use this picture size instead of the width divided by 10. After that I can use also the picture size to say that the position is also plus the position from the first instance. So now I save the script, I go into Unity and start the game. We see that the second picture is on this position. This is because I said take the start position plus the picture size on the x-axis and plus the picture size on the y-axis. To take the picture on this position, I have only to delete the plus picture size here on my y position vector. I save the script and I start the game, and now we see that I have a second picture on the right side from the first picture. And with this for each loops we create our grid layout. So back in our script, I create here a for loop, and the variable inside for the loop, for the running variable, I call x-axis, and the length of this variable is smaller than 11, and this variable starts with 1. Sorry, I call this the y-axis, and inside this loop I create a second for loop, and this is the x-axis with the length smaller than 11, and it also starts with 1. Then we have here our code snippet that creates our instance. So I insert it into my loops, and this one I can delete. Now we see the only thing what is changing about my pictures is the position. So I do not want to use these variables and calculations for my positions. For that, I create a position variable. I called it the start position. And we know that this picture is on the left bottom corner. So this vector here is my start position. So as a next, we need some variables that helps us to remember in which position we are. So I have here the y-axis and the x-axis. I did a failure in the previous video. We have to start with 0 and the length is smaller than 10. This is also for the x-axis. It starts with 0 and ends with smaller than 10. And inside this loop I create a new variable. I call this position underline y, and this position is the product of the picture size multiple with the y-axis, and the same I need in the x-axis loop. So the position x is the picture size multiple with the x-axis. And these two variables I can use to calculate the position for my picture. So I delete this inside, and we know that we need the start position plus, and the start on the left side is the x-axis, so I use here plus position x, and the other side is start position plus position y. We see that here is a failure because the start position here is a vector, so I need from the vector on the left side of the argument the x value and on the right side the y value. So what happened here? When the first loop starts, the y-axis is 0. So the position y here, the picture size multiple with 0 is 0. And the same thing is here, the position x is picture size multiples with x-axis, which is also 0 in the first loop. We have here 0. So the first picture is the start position plus 0, and here also the start position dot y plus 0. So the first picture is on the left bottom corner. In the next loop, this position here is the picture size multiple 1, so the next position is on the right side of the first picture. So I say to show that my y-axis only fills the first line. So I save this script here, I go into Unity and start my game. We see I fill 10 pictures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pictures in the first line. To fill also the other lines, I have here to use also 10 y-axis loops. So I save the script, I go into Unity and start the game. And now we see I have filled my plane with 100 pictures. In the next video I replace this picture, what we use for our prefab, with other pictures that the game panel looks similar to this grid here.